Welcome back to the English broadcast of the LPL. We are calling in to the Xi'an Stadium right now. You can see on your screen, beautiful arena inside and out, and it is WE's home stadium at that. And for them so far, Rusty, hasn't brought them a lot of luck.
No.
I will say. They have been going on an upward trajectory, but unfortunately they're kind of facing the final boss right now.
Yeah, they certainly are. They're against the best team in their league. They're still last in the league, and they are 0-1 down against them. WE, they've shown there's some fight in their system, but there's no results to be seen alongside that fight so far. So, whilst this may be a difficult set for them to come back, and you know they're a resilient team, the organization is resilient, the players have been there, they've done it all before, but not all of them anymore. There's a couple of substitutes.
Yeah, indeed. And in that first game, it's like, is this the strongest roster we're going to see from WE? You know, because we've got Condi back, we've got Mystic back into the bottom lane. Well, it didn't work out, so what have we got now? We've got Pepper into the jungle and Gentle now in the ADC.
Yeah, I think their ADC is hoping that SMLZ will be gentle with him after that last game. It was a bit of an amazing play, let's put it that way. Raz is lost for words, for lack of a better way to describe it. SMLZ popped off, but Pepper also coming in is an interesting one to me. I'm a big fan of Pepper in the jungle role right now. I think that Condi's got a couple weeks left of practice with his team before he really ramps up and comes back to top form again.
Yeah.
He's still got some growing to do. I think that Pepper comes in and he does help a lot with WE, but he also slows them down a very significant amount. So that's the concern for this next game against a side that smacks you in the early game.
Now, Gentle coming in for the ADC. I know you asked me, Rusty, earlier today, and it's like, who do you think is the better ADC between Mystic and Gentle? And I said Gentle. And you were like, what? You're insane. It's clearly Mystic.
You are insane.
And then we were walking past Raz on the way up, and he was like, all right, give you 3 seconds. Who is it? You know who he said? Gentle. So we've got Gentle coming in here too. But I'm just saying, we actually get them to see back-to-back both play up against Rogue Warriors here. So we do actually get to see them, you know, contrasted, and we get some juxtaposition between the two AD carries.
Yeah. Mystic made a couple of mistakes in that first game as well, getting solo kill, caught out of position, not respecting his opponents. He looked decent in the team fighting, however, Mystic. I wouldn't say the fault lies with him. I think it was honestly just super well done from his opponent to survive as long as he did. Kite back, double cleanses, very hard to deal with for a Gnar and a Camille that is very telegraphed forms of crowd control. So in the end of the day, SMLZ was just too good. Rogue Warriors were just too good.
Very, very true. Oh, I'm still reeling after that final team fight that we saw out from Rogue Warriors. So sick. Out from not only SMLZ, but how the team managed to protect them through that one. So, the other question for me is actually, what are Rogue Warriors going to be running this game? Because that was obviously looking towards the funnel, towards SMLZ, but we've also seen many compositions from them, such as the Fiddlesticks, the Carthus, which was banned out in game 1, where they just run at you, have a Kled in the mid lane. It's like, all right, we're ready to rumble, and we're ready just to chase you down before you can react on the opposite side of the map.
You know, the scariest thing, Pulse,
what's that?
For this next game is that Doinby didn't really get focused. He just played on, because On was available for him to play. Aatrox was the only one that was outright banned from him. So in the second game, you know what? He might still play Kled. That's still scarily enough an opportunity for them. And that's very hard to deal with if you're WE, because what do you ban from them first and foremost? You've got to get rid of Carthus and Fiddlesticks, it seems. That was at least their game 1 bans. Can they keep using those bans and get away with it? Or are they going to sacrifice somewhere for the greater good of the team? And I think they tried that in that first game. They targeted bottom lane. They lost to a conventional lane. I would expect that the Carthus maybe doesn't actually get banned this time.
There's a possibility. And maybe ban one of them and not both of them, because we've definitely seen the combo come out of Rogue Warriors. But so far, I just love the fact that Doinby's full adaptation towards and embracing the fact that he is just like a tank mid laner. It's just working out, you know. It's the mindset that, like, I don't need to play a carry necessarily, like a better Kled than dead, right? And he's just constantly been doing that, and it's been working out. So again, it's just a mixed bag from what we're going to see from this team. On the opposite side, though, as we head into the Champion Select, WE, they're going to try something different this game. You know it from the players already, and we're probably going to get a different composition as well.
Certainly should be expected, as we are getting into that second ban phase now. Hoping to see some different picks above all else. WE need to react to that first game, however, with some bans, and I don't think they will ban something explicitly. I would expect that the way the game played out, they feel confident enough against their opponent's composition. It was a play-style choice that they made where they lost.
Fun killers. Rogue Warriors are going to take away the Irelia, but also the Nocturne and Shen coming out here. And WE will kick us off with an Aatrox ban, a Carthus, and a Camille. So we don't want to deal with any of that. But remember, Pepper's on the Rift. So even though we don't see a ton of Jarvan right now, Pepper is like the OG Jarvan player, and he always says in interviews, if you give me Jarvan, I'm going to smash you. And more often than not, he definitely does. Also, Jarvan, a fantastic pick into Kled. So we may see even the jungle come down to the last pick, or on the opposite side, the Doinby just not pick up Kled at all. Now, first pick will be Talia for Rogue Warriors. Now, WE looking towards the Swain.
And they'll lock in that Swain as well, something that has been in the AD carry position for Team WE above all else. Early rotation here. Now, Fiddlesticks was banned by WE in the last game, has not been banned in this one. There's a chance that teams prioritize it in their first 3 picks. More often than not, the way that Fiddles has played out so far, he's proven to be one of the strongest supports just running around in general in League of Legends. But not the early focus at all.
No, not at all. It will be on Morgana coming through for WE once again here. Now on the opposite side, Rogue Warriors, they're currently hovering over a true AD carry, and it will be Ashe coming in for SMLZ. Now, this is a rotation where they get to pick 2, so there it is. It's just straight up the Tam Kench, and honestly, Rusty, it feels like Rogue Warriors are trying as many things as possible right now before Rift Rivals against WE. They have a 1-game buffer, and it's like, okay, let's give Ashe and Tam Kench a shot. Let's see how this one works. We could have picked, you know, a Fiddlesticks or like a Crazy Bomb. We could have picked a Heimerdinger, but no, we're going to try something new.
Why not, man? Why not show that you're not just a single threat style of team, and you could reveal it later on for sure that maybe you've got these new strategies, but the best testing ground, the best proving grounds to show that it works for yourself is going to be on stage. And against a team like WE, when you're undefeated against the worst, or the lowest rated team, I should say, not the worst, in our league right now, very good time to experiment with it. But they're also, and this is the thing, they're picking it into what is now a Morgana and an Olaf. They've early rotated it, and WE is like, well, throw as many arrows as you want. We'll run through you.
Yes, we will. And that's, I mean, we know that the mechanics are going to be on point for these players. We saw it earlier today, in fact, that Morgana and actually the Olaf just have some sick Ragnaroks and black shields coming through. So what are we going to have in terms of bans? Well, there's the not taken off the table, so not that for 957 this game. And the Lulu removed from Doinby, so I wouldn't be surprised if actually WE choose to hit Doinby again here. No, it's going to be top lane. Mouse is going to have his Mundo removed. A major problem for them in the last game.
Of course, support has been secured this time, so they could have focused Doinby, but I think Lulu is the only one that you really need to put some effort towards with the Ashe secured. Karma does still need to be thought about, though. Whilst it shouldn't be a high priority pick by any means when you've got that composition building for yourself, Rogue Warriors, you could consider a Karma thrown into the works. But at the same time, why not pick yourself a Kled and complement the Ashe?
And that's what you would think. I mean, historically, so far, from what we've seen from Rogue Warriors, it's all been melee picks off of the Kled pick in the mid lane. It's been like an amplifier to the run at UComp. There's still a possibility for it, but we will we'll definitely see as the Singed will get banned out here against 957. And now back over to WE. They're currently hovering over the Ornn, which Doinby had in that first game. So that's going to be a bit of a takeaway here to WE.
Every top laner you pick's a takeaway right now from two members of Rogue Warriors. Ornn is secured, just a good team fight engage tool for the side of WE. What they're really lacking is that heavy hitting damage source. I'd say that much. You know, you could put a Swain in the bottom lane with a Morgana, you could make that work. But then you need something physical to complement the composition. So for WE,
yes,
maybe they put the Swain mid. Or they pick a physical mid laner. Yasuo could work, actually.
It's a possibility.
I'd love to see Shia's Yasuo.
I mean, in general, you don't really want to put weak matchups against the Kled. Now, Clement has bestowed upon me all of the Kled facts, so be prepared for them in the laning phase. Rogue Warriors looking towards their final pickup here. Now, Kled has been locked in. Looks like, I wouldn't be surprised with another tank. Yeah, there we go. Cho'Gath into the top lane here for Mouse.
Lots of respect. And the Shen constantly banned. I'd actually prefer if they were able to pick the Shen Rogue Warriors for the comp, but the Cho'Gath works nicely. Lots of damage that can come out of a tank. Lanes quite well. Also against the Ornn in the top lane. We get to see the rest of WE's composition. I would imagine it's an AD. The question is which one? It should be the Swain going mid.
You'd expect so. I mean, Lucian's open, super strong AD carry, and he's going to be locked in. What was the unless?
They put the Lucian mid for no reason.
Yeah, I think it would do pretty well against the Kled, to be fair. But all right, here's the swap-ups. Actually get to see where everything's going. Talia into the jungle, yes, of course. Bottom lane was already locked in previously from Rogue Warriors. Kled into the mid lane, which is a given when it's Rogue Warriors, and then Cho'Gath into the top lane. Makes sense. Other side, WE. It's Ornn into the top lane with Lucian into the mid currently, with Swain and Morgana into the bottom lane.
Yeah, so it's going to be the Lucian in the mid lane for Shea. Now, that may be his position, not necessarily his position on the map, things that need to be considered in 2018 XD. But Lucian most likely will be the mid laner through this, and I do think that whilst it's not the ultimate lane counter or anything against the Kled, it's very hard to kill. It's a physical damage dealer that you would say is out of necessity, and we mentioned perhaps the Yasuo was an option. Yep. I think Lucian's their solution to it. The solution.
Mind blown.
Solution.
I'm using that. I'm going to polish that and use it. You've given me some ammunition there, Rusty. All right. Once again, coming in for round 2 in the Xi'an Stadium. Rogue Warriors with a strong lead into game 1, and also a bit of a twist on what we've been seeing so far from them. Actually going back towards the AD carries, like a true AD carry like Ash for some initiation, but also adding some RW spice in at the end, a little twist, and that'll be the Kled.
Yeah, not the Scion like last time, but still the Kled in the middle lane for Doinb, something that he is very confident on, let's put it that way. He's been playing it a lot. We haven't seen him lose with it. Rogue Warriors have not lost a single map in any best of 3 series so far. They are still the perfect team as performance goes. They aren't really being pushed to their limits. Last game was close. WE has shown that when they play up, there's a possibility, there's an inside chance that they're able to get it. But they've got 2 subs coming into the second game, Paul, so I'm really not sure if WE have what it takes.
It will be tough for certain. And I know there's a big fan following for both teams in the Xi'an arena here. I know it's primarily WE. I heard those chants in game 1, but they're going to have to fire back once again and give WE their energy as we head onto the Rift once again. Huh?
Ash was recalling.
Oh.
And it just ruined the chance.
No. Man. Not like this.
Give him some music. Ruined.
Actually ruined, by the way.
Just the loudest music comes out of nowhere in the middle of the chance. Either way, we're on the Rift. Don't worry, Balls. It's all good. We're here for game 2.
Okay, here we go. First dragon's going to be Ocean, though I have 0 faith nowadays, so hopefully we just path down the bottom side and actually get some confirmation.
I think we have to actually look first at where these junglers are going to be starting. I'm not surprised for Rogue Warriors that they'll be on the bottom side of the map getting a leash. For WE, they're matching that, however, so blue and reds respectively. For the Talia, because it is a Talia, you should go from red immediately to the blue buff. Make sure you got that mana sustain up. Extra AP, cooldown reduction. It's all nice to have as Talia for very fast clear. So she'll most likely do buff to buff. For the Olaf, he can choose between buff clears and full clears at his leisure. And the question is more so about where do WE go? Where does Pepper go? And how does this actually set up the map?
Yeah, storm through the jungle. Now, in the early game, Shea, looking at this matchup into the mid lane against this Kled, will have a bit of an advantage. Now, Kled in his levels 1 to 3 is when he is the strongest in lane, and also at level 6. It's a bit of a trough at Torello in the bottom lane. That's because he's going to get chunked down, but continue to push forwards. Bit of a trough at 4 and 5 just because he has to continue to put points into his wave clear ability Q, not his primary damage ability W. But in the first couple levels, you're only getting stronger. So something to keep in mind, but Shea doesn't have to bother about a lot of this because he's Lucian. He's a range matchup.
Yeah, in the mid lane, you'll most likely get that Tiamat though as well. So it's all about wave clear and about leaving lane, I think, more than anything else for the mid lane Kled.
Indeed.
For Shea, definitely has control like you mentioned, but even beyond that, has kill threat super early because he's just a Lucian. But has gone for the exhaust this time around, so it's not so much about kill threat. It's more about not dying as Flawless is driving by. He's going from scuttle to scuttle, coast to coast. Wants to control the river.
Yeah, he's also hovering around as well. Gives a bit more freedom to that Kled if he wants to potentially go in there as well into the mid lane. Oh, SMLZ somehow gets caught by that one. That was sick out of Gentle with a never move. And SMLZ is getting hit by a lot of skill shots in this bottom lane. He will get a lot of health back. During the Doran's Blade.
The position of the wave is horrible though. Pepper top lane, Mouse in trouble.
Yeah, in a lot of trouble. Hasn't been a flash just yet, but he's already down to half. Has to flash out now, but double flashes to follow, and Pepper will get our first blood right here. Doinb teleports into the play, but it's 1 versus 2. He gets dismounted. Where is the W? He finds 1. Looking to remount right now. Needs 2 more hits on the passive to find Skull back. There it is, the pocket pistol, but knocks him away. It wasn't a full tap right there. And that will still be a 1-for-1 trade.
It doesn't quite get the remount, but these minions will do enough. They lane swap for a little bit here, Rogue Warriors. The top laner of Rogue Warriors has teleport, where the mid laner does not. So not surprised that this is where the lane swap comes about. We'll have to see how they recompose themselves after the dust settles. So far for WE, they make the first play and they get the kills. Those buffs belong to Doinby.
Do indeed. Let's go see that one again. So the Doinby teleport came in very early, giving Mouse a bit of confidence they could stay in, but ends up going down.
But they're also fighting in the middle of a minion waves, and ultimately Doinby plays this well, the flash bear trap on a rope, and gets the auto attacks off. 6 minions doing a lot of work to assist him throughout all of that. Lots of damage that needlessly taken by WE.
I also learned that when you're dismounted, exactly 5 auto attacks and a full pocket pistol will get you remounted. Now, Violent Tendencies is 4 auto attacks, so just 1 more. Oh, hello, in the bottom lane, Asmalzi's already very low himself. And Gentle are missing, are pushing forwards onto this one once again, getting full control of this bottom lane.
They certainly do. SMLZ's been struggling. Of course, he'll be able to go back to base, but the timing is very poor. Long sword, refillable potions, the only things that he's going to go towards. Doesn't want to expend all the money that he had, trying to be as efficient as possible, but that also means he loses experience. Regarding timing, though, I'll give him that. The timing of being forced out of lane was quite nice. It's building towards them.
Just clearing this vision in the bottom side of River once again. So, in this game, pretty even so far. Kill apiece. 1 kill onto this Kled, however, 1 into the jungle for Pepper. So, see if Pepper can keep up the momentum he's gotten in this early game and continue to put pressure down these lanes. Mouse is also going to take the gold advantage as well in the top lane. Oh no, Flawless, has to flash away from this, but missing and Gentle, both with flash. Don't move forward, Kahlua is there, of course, with the Devour, but still.
Oh, impressive.
Yeah, really chunk out Flawless, and this double mage setup is really putting in work.
Yeah, we've often, in the LCK, we've seen the Morgana take the AD carry position as well as the support position, and you can really see how oppressive it can be. Certain lane matchups just do so much damage. You know, Swain Morgana, the follow-up of crowd control, bindings from the grasp, it's nuts if one piece of CC connects. And very good example of that, obviously evidenced through Flawless losing most of his health. At the same time, the ultimate downfall of this 2v2 lane for WE right now is that it's Gentle and missing. It's not 2 very experienced members, and they're still losing in farm. They're still not losing, not retaining rather control outright. It hasn't been perfect from them, but so far so good.
Yeah, with a quick culling there just to blast out the rest of the mid lane, and Doinby doesn't care too much because he's going to get all of this juicy time to himself.
That culling actually forces Doinby to stay where he might have wanted to recall. He was going to go to base, but because the culling hard clears, he doesn't have to trade with the Lucian. So he's able to sit there and collect the entire wave. In a good spot there. Both mid laners, actually.
Yep, all good. Flawless is on his way to the top lane, going to be rock surfing up here. Now, he doesn't have ultimate. Unlucky. But it's fine. Well. His aggressors are still going back to base, and the wave's being pushed in, so.
I'll never see that ward coming. And not even he will see them coming with that ward.
Yep. It's fine. I don't think RW saw it, so as long as he didn't show weakness. And on the top side of the map, we've got Pepper still just going for full clears. That's what he's doing. He's going from side to side to side, just clearing it up, getting to level 6 as fast as possible. Of course, wants to be able to get to level 6 where he has that Ragnarok, so he can get through SMLZ's arrow if he is moving towards the bottom lane. Yeah. Very difficult lane to gank without the use of that ultimate.
Pretty much impossible for Rogue Warriors to get a successful gank off down here with Morgana having a black shield, but the need for a recall is there. The side of Team WE. With level 6 approaching Flawless, I think you can just kill him from damage alone, really. Flawless is trying.
Thinking about it, here comes Pepper into the bottom side of the map.
He may just get counter-ganked from very tragic timing.
Now he turns the car. It's a Berserker. Here we go. Flick dodged away from, but he also runs back into his own jungle. Yeah, that was not the type of man you want to meet in a dark alley.
That was a bit spicy finding Pepper in the jungle there. Very well timed. Unfortunately for Pepper, if it was a second earlier, he might have been there at the correct moment and just had kill threat outright. But there's the back away. Everything will just subside. We're looking at a fairly standard early start to this game with just lane pressure that hasn't amounted into anything wild. I still think that bodes well for, whilst it's good for both respective teams, I like the Kled's chances now that he's got the Tiamat and that he should be able to leave lane a bit more.
I mean, that's it. He's not looking for ganks as much as he's looking for skirmishes, this old Kled. But yeah, absolutely will be able to clear this wave. And of course, he's down about 10 CS against the Lucian, as to be expected in a matchup like this.
Hey, mate.
Cheers, mate. I'll be on my way. Old mate Flawless is giving me the setup.
This Pro League loves Brawler. No matter what, they're all playing Brawler.
So it's a, as I understand, it's a cheaper skin on the Chinese server. You can pick it up for the price of like a basic skin. even though it's technically legendary in the Western clients.
Yes, they don't quite grasp Americans.
Yeah, so this is the, like,
doesn't really make sense.
Yeah, this is the cheap skin that you pick up if you're an Olaf player. But this is also just like the skin that everyone's used to, so.
Americans are confusing, I understand. I've just never really met someone from any other culture that could yell bro and throw axes made out of cardboard.
I mean, that's been the issue with you, Rusty. People have said some things to you like fam, and then you just pick it up. Like if someone says something unironically to you, you're just like, all right, this is part of my vocabulary now.
I am tragically a sponge for memes.
Yeah.
You're not wrong. That's a curse.
Yeah. Can't tell if it's a good one or a bad one. S-Malzy is doing okay in this bottom lane. Like, you can see the amount of CS he's managed to pick up is pretty sizable, about a 25 CS lead so far. It's just the fact that when these skill shots land, he's always got Kaloa just behind him, just to pull him back.
Yeah, it's going to start to become pressure on turrets as well, though. Yeah. Objectives are getting a couple of minutes away from being heavily pressured. Rogue Warriors have proven that, you know, similar to EDG in certain ways, they're the kind of team that wants to do that 5-man group and dive in a lane. Now, the difference between them and EDG is that it's not always bottom lane. They like to sometimes work with Flawless through the jungle role, but with the composition they've compiled, they can actually use Talia as a pivot-style champion, just use the wall and block people off. I would expect, and this is just a very early expectation with no real idea of where Rogue Warriors will make the play, I would still expect 5-man bottom. You know, you get the Talia wall, start the fight off, and so far, the first sets that they've done towards that lane are in place, and that is controlling the 2v2 they've pushed. The SMLZ level 7 on the Ashe, low cooldown on the volley, constantly able to poke 2 mages out now, run them out of mana. Whenever they run out of mana, like now, which is Gentle's mana bar, risk the dive.
Pep is just, he's playing River Guard currently. It's like, if I spot anyone, they're dead. But there's no crab, there's no anyone. So he's just placing down wards and going back to his jungle, because he's been clearing the jungle so efficiently. There's just nothing left. I mean, Merkel's just spawned for him. Flawless is doing the same on his side of the map now. Shelly has just spawned as well, so that's also an objective these teams can play towards. But we're having a bit of an extended laning phase here. We're 1-to-1 in terms of kills. Neither team has really gone, you know, hard in the paint just yet.
The abstract definition of what a laning phase is and has become 10 minutes. Very extended in the scope of a Rogue Warriors game.
Yeah.
If WE have their say, they had a 22-minute laning phase, probably the longest laning phase I've seen in 2 years. But they did it because WE were in control of the map. And there's a chance that because everything's staying pretty much equal, Rogue Warriors will be content with that until they get their first item spikes. And maybe then they'll start to look.
I mean, one thing right here is just the fact that Pepper just picked up the Ocean Dragon, which is really nice in the laning phase itself. So if WE draw them out into a long laning phase, it will just be annoying
Kalua's my boy.
For Rogue Warriors to play around. Why?
All right. When someone's killing your control ward, you have to place another one immediately.
To deny them.
See that one that was in the bush? He just replaced it in the tri-bush. That's my guy. You can't kill my control wards because I'm placing them down first.
Yeah, I see you.
Maybe it's not gold efficient, but you get the last one.
100%. Every time. It's a nice little trick there from Kaloa. Now, again, yeah, this is an extended laning phase, and I want to see what Rogue Warriors can do to like break it open. But as you said, maybe they just want to stay in this laning phase. Farm up for the Ashe, 122 farm right now. Farm up the Kled, get him a little bit tanky, hit him for his first item spike, get towards the Tiamat and the Black Cleaver, and then maybe look for something.
Yeah, definitely. Of course, item spikes for the side of WE are lacking, so they don't want to go for anything just yet. Cautious game plan is going to be the best way to do this one. Vision is also a big part of the game for both teams. You know, you saw in the last game with the Baron dance, very prolonged duration of dancing around it because both teams were prioritizing Vision over the kills first and foremost. And through the early stage of this game, you're starting to see the remnants of that from the first game, oozing into the second also. Lots of Vision control from Rogue Warriors through the river, whereas for WE, they tend to be a bit more defensive, a bit more reserved by default with their Vision placement.
I always love Frostgurren's old analogy. She liked to call them the archer, you know, lining up the shot, play it very slow, keep their distance, and then ready to hit them at the 35-minute mark. Of course, they have to speed up just a little bit because of this meta, but now they are just trying to absorb pressure, and that means that something's got to give eventually, and that's going to be the bot lane tower.
They didn't even go for the dive. They didn't send 5 people down here. They didn't need to.
No, they'll just take it.
They just incrementally won the bottom lane 2v2 more and more until it became overwhelming. And they're able to actually just overwhelm their opponents.
Uh-oh.
He's alright.
Flashes for good measure.
Yeah, I feel like there's safety flash there, just in case. If the axe connected, maybe he was at risk of dying, but...
The old safety
dance. Not really.
We're pushing the mid lane as well. So that has now unlocked the Ashe. SMLZ's just gone on walkabouts. He's going back to the top lane right now.
Yeah. The one thing you want to do as WE is keep your Morgana with the Ashe in lane. Perhaps threaten him, prevent the ult from going across map. SMLZ's now found a chance to go cross map to any lane that he would like. Hot swaps constantly. You can see the W should be aware of it. You can see the recalls coming out of 957. They want to reset their lanes appropriately. But it still buys time. It's that extra wave that SMLZ gets. If the 2v2 persists, if SMLZ and Kahlua just continue to push and Flawless hovers, then it could be another turret. You know, WE are the ones that finally need to do something, or they risk losing more.
Rogue Warriors are first to the punch in the top lane this time as well. Kahlua's behind both Flawless and SMLZ. If someone gets caught by a binding aura, never move. And SMLZ can afford to play up as well because he's got the Tam Kench there. This tower is down to half from full. And Rogue Warriors are still getting these small little tempo leads.
The turret at half means that in one more wave, especially on a cannon wave, if they get the opportunity to push, will be even lower. And Flawless goes to blue buff, will most likely come back to top lane with blue buff, as he's got a Kled in the mid lane that doesn't need to pick that one up. Doinby's got teleport, Mouse has got teleport. The risk of a 5v5 is always there. And constantly we're seeing Rogue Warriors press the attack now. We're yet to see a single response.
That's the problem, because Doinby pushed out the mid lane. Oh, SMLZ far away from the Tam Kench, gets the gobble up, but here's the 2 versus 2, looking very good. Late teleport coming in, SMLZ is already dead to the Force Lightning. Kahlua turning this one around onto missing, but here comes the entirety of Rogue Warriors. It's a party up in the top lane as the Talia is down, but Kahlua routed, dead, and 3 quick kills over to the Lucian.
Yeah, 4 total. WE actually get up here, they collapse way more effectively. The turret now a risk of falling down. Rogue Warriors, they set it up. We said WE need to fight back, and they do. They find the results. They get 3 kills onto Illusion.
Oh man, this is huge for W right here with the bounce back. It's going to be multiple kills onto a key player, plus the top lane tower to go down. And really, that was just based off of that 2v2 going awry. It was SMLZ getting caught and Kahlua not being in range for the Devour.
To be clear, it's an unsealed spellbook Tam Kench as well. He had the cleanse, so he could have cleansed earlier and walked over towards SMLZ on the binding. Missing did still execute that fight very well, and I hope we get to see the replay of that because they get the kills. You do get to see that. Note that his binding goes towards Kahlua to keep the damage going onto SMLZ. Morgana ultimate stays through the gobble as well, so you're going to get stunned. Kahlua, even if you spit him out, finds that he's stunned and then has the stopwatch. Morgana carries the team fight, and then Shea comes in to hit it home with the Olaf on Pepper.
Really, I mean, it started off as just unfortunate positioning coming out for them, and of course, off of a big play like that, one of the first massive plays we've really seen from WE in this set, the audience, of course, going to go wild. It's going to be just a nice confidence boost as well for them. It doesn't mean that Rogue Warriors is down for the count, though. They just went straight back up the top lane and took down the tower. But yes, Rusty, it is an equalizer. And WE with a shot in the game, it's still a scary WE.
Yeah, they were pretty much out for the count. And just before we got even close to the 10 mark, they were able to bite back and you find their footing in this game once again. That's exactly what they needed from. And now they have a point of power. They have a big mid laner in Shea. He is someone you have to look towards. We just saw SMLZ carry the game with a Lucian. We know full well what the champion is capable of. And LPL Lucians are sick. And if you don't know Shea's Lucian, just remember that he's killed people in international tournaments that are named FLICKR with a pick like this. So he's pretty good at it.
Yeah, one of the best. For certain. Missing going to be meeting the entirety of Rogue Warriors in the river here, but he's got Mr. Brolaf now to back him up. Now the first dragon is actually going to be a Cloud, or the second dragon, I'm sorry, will be the Cloud Dragon. So it's not going to be a full commit from either of these teams, but they can snag it, then they're going to be very happy with it.
Oh, the arrows
Chara loosed.
Hits the Krug camp.
Yeah. Yeah. You're like, what is that? Come on.
Doesn't quite find the target, but
right
definitely
the
still good to look. I still think it's a good idea to go for those opportunities with Doinby nearby.
Alright.
Lots of pick potentially available. This could be very good timing for Rogue Warriors to pressure mid lane turret.
Oh, hello.
They can go for this objective if they want.
Doinby.
He's charging top.
Okay. He missed. But WE are going to take themselves a dragon. What are Rogue Warriors going to do? Because they know that multiple people on the bottom side of the map.
Oh, what? Oh, he did teleport. It went through. There you go. He teleports to mid lane. Well, they just get the Kled ultimate for nothing.
This is the day that you almost caught Captain Jack Sparrow. Cool.
Can't quite work out anything to add there with Gentle's name, but
yeah, I was trying.
He lives. That's what matters. And Herald summons one.
I like how all of that was just off minimap as well. Yeah. Here comes Shelly into the bottom lane. This is going to be a fast tower takedown here for WE. And we're going to have Mouse also step up to the plate. Primarily just to stop Shelly from coming in for a second full charge. I think he's going to get that just fine.
I still think we're seeing...
To go.
Work. Oh my god, work it out.
Shelly's having a tough time. Hey!
The choker.
Okay. Go ahead, Rusty.
Okay. So what I think the Rogue Warriors should have done in that situation is not use the Kled charge top lane to find a Swain. I actually think they should have prioritized mid lane outer turret and tried to make a play around that. Instead, they pay the price, they lose the objective, they lose a follow-up objective in the bottom lane. And Rogue Warriors still in an okay position in the end, you know? Like, they got a teleport from a Swain, that's okay. He won't be able to use that, but he'll be grouping anyway. You know, they've got the arrow coming up, it's available now. Could use that, but they don't have the Kled ult. These things are just small details that I think they could be a little bit better on, and that could be the difference between, you know, being a top 3 team and a top 1 team in the league.
I mean, it's just being staggered on those cooldowns, honestly. And you're absolutely right. Here comes Jay into the top lane. How are we doing? How's Lucian doing? Well, he's got 3 kills, 214 farms, so the farm is definitely working. And he's gone for the quote-unquote, like I like to call it the snowbally build, when you know you're ahead and you can continue to keep catalyzing, and then you go for the Essence Reaver 3rd or 4th. And he knows he's ahead. He knows he's doing well against the curve. So that's what he's doing, and he's looking to win fights now.
I guess the question past his 2 items completed is how much does he trust his Morgana?
True.
And when does he get a QSS? Because he should get a QSS in there also. It'll slow down the rest of the build. Consider it the Malzahar effect. WE, besieging mid lane.
Forge God come through. Oh, they've found the Talia. Sent straight to the farm.
It's just the bottom lane of WE. Gentle pulls him back, but Missing's the one who sets it up in the first place. Having an outstanding game number 2 is WE's support. They don't get the turret, but they get a lot of pressure. However, a lot was used for just that single kill, so it's not ideal right now. Rogue Warrior is still pushing forwards and finding some tempo.
Yeah, again, nice, just small things coming out of WE, and again, there's 2 things to note. First off is that WE are playing with their substitutes right now. They're bringing Pepper into the jungle, Gentle into the quote-unquote marksman position, playing the Swain right here. I feel both have performed very well this game. Conversely, the Rogue Warriors team are playing with not a new composition, but is for them, because they drafted an early Ashe with a Tam Kench, and then drafted the Kled pick with it. Now, we haven't seen the Kled pick from Rogue Warriors so far without an all-melee composition where you all want to move forwards at the same time.
Yeah.
So there's new things being tried by Rogue Warriors here, but at the same time, props to WE.
The biggest difference, you're right, is they've thrown in an AD carry into the works here. A spanner in the mix is going to be interesting for Rogue Warriors to navigate. Kled can only go one direction, as I'm sure we're all aware of. And for an Ashe, I mean, the engage is there, the utility is available. I know often in the past, Ashe was picked solely for the utility. AD carries were picked solely for utility, not to carry. So compositions can still survive without them doing damage. But it's a Blade of the Ruined King meta as well, so she will charge tanks and smash their health bars down. It just means that instead of the chaotic fights that may not have front to back, it'll be very front to back in style.
I'll also say that Flores has to play very well with the Talia wall, because Kled cannot make it over walls with his ultimate nor his E unless he's tagged onto someone first. So, as Clement was telling me, every time he sees Talia or a Jarvan, it sends shivers down his spine, even though it's an ally, because terrain is terrain, and Kled's ultimate will reroute you.
He's just so emotionally invested in Kled that he gets shivers down his spine. You know, I personally would be like, I'm upset.
I'm mildly miffed.
I get goosebumps every time I see a Jarvan.
It's true, because Jarvan can lock you in, and if it's an ally Jarvan, you don't even tag onto anyone, so you just get stuck in his ultimate.
As a Yasuo player, and as a Bard player,
yeah,
I like those walls.
Fair.
Every time I see a Talia, wind wall, I have the superior wall. And as a Bard, magical journey.
Win-win situation, yeah, that's true. You're never going to have that feeling.
Yeah.
So we'll just have to make sure that Flawless nails these walls in this game. Both teams are just kind of hovering around lanes and just constantly changing lane assignments. Just been watching them hover around the map. We're actually going to send Doinby to the bottom lane. He's got teleport.
Okay, yeah. And
957 is actually rotating towards the mid lane right here.
Interesting. So Doinby is a physical damage dealer, which works against the Banner of Command minions that 957's throwing around. So I can understand this is a possibility. And it could be possible, we haven't really spoken about it, that Rogue Warriors try and go for a 1-3-1 type of comp. But ultimately, I don't know if their 3 can hold without being dove. They can hold without dying. I would have to expect, you know, with a Tam Kench there to enable you. But first and foremost, Kalua's got Ghost Exhaust because he's trying to go full circle to getting back his summoner spells that he's used. So here we are.
Yeah.
We have a Ghost Exhaust Tahm Kench. I don't know how much work that's going to do to keeping his Ashe alive.
Oh, I heard it. That's the Ghost.
He's got a heal now.
Kalua's making his way back, slowly but surely.
Oh man.
I was gonna say, man, I'm excited to see that Ghost. So, like, I want to lick someone and then look for the instant Ghost and just sprint at the nearest person.
That's if you're gonna split push. You know, Tahm Kench was meta in the 1v1 tournaments. Yeah, we've all seen what that can do when you hit a snowball.
Speaking of, the Tahm Kench is very caught. Catch of the day, it's a catfish. But Kalua, still alive for now. He's about to go down. Run over by the Ram. That's going to be return kill down onto Morgana. And SLT, goodbye to the AD carry. Here comes Doinby off to the side. Now looking to turn around this trade. Gentle low, moved from the map. Double knockout out from Mouse. Doinby starting to pop off. 957, the last member to remain alive. 5 for 2. Rogue Warriors go to the Baron.
And what did we say? No Ashe, no problems for the composition of Rogue Warriors. They get the team fight. Mouse has a very good showing, and Doinby gets into the back line. A little bit late, doesn't matter too much. Flawless was dealing the damage. Baron, now the place that they look towards, should be secured for pretty much no costs at all.
Why does this keep... I know why it keeps happening, but Rogue Warriors, again, in a game where they were behind, honestly, in a bit of tempo right here, like WE controlling the map, pushing forward, Rogue Warriors just find a fight. And then they just win, because they have a better grasp on the 5v5.
I mean, at what point do we say, you know, Rogue Warriors have done it again, or do we say that WE have done it again? There's always going to be a question. You know, it starts, they get a 4v5 pretty early on here from Kalua going down. No summoners to keep him alive. SMLZ dies very shortly after, but the trade was capable because they charged at the Tahm Kench and they bought time for the damage to come in. Now, Mouse hits the Q at the same time as Doinby getting the maximum damage output. I think he had the violent tendencies running there. Titanic Hydra also procced, so that's a sick combo. The Bruisers in the mid game doing a lot of work.
Do a lot of damage, and this is one of the big spiking parts from Doinby as well, especially onto squishies. Clement was telling me that you don't really think about it, but press the attack is plus 12%, then coup de grace on a low health target is another 12% plus 7%, so you move up to 19% on your execution damage. Plus, when you put the Tiamat in between, it's a lot of burst damage. It's not your highest damage combo, but in a team fight, when you're looking to nuke someone, they are going to die. Yes.
You know, with the Titanic Hydra, it is a crazy amount of AoE. It helps with your wave clear also. That particular item is, you need to stop that. He's okay. He just Kalua healed. Don't worry.
Yep. You know, he's just making his way back. Here comes the All-on-Horn, looking to engage in the mid lane onto 3 members. SMLZ locked up once again. He's already dead. And W looking to respond with this kill onto the Cho'Gath. There's 2. In comes Doinby. Oh, he's committed into 5 people. I don't think everyone wants to jump onto this one. Oh, Doinby. He's going to go down with the team. 3 kills to WE.
And how quickly they undo themselves. That was just blatantly obvious as well. But WE make the correct play at the correct moment. Rogue Warriors get caught for it. What was a Baron? What was the potential push with that? Now completely subsides and control back to WE.
Flipped on its head right here. Mid tower going to fall, and now moving on to the inhibitor towers as well. WE actually choosing to back away and rotate towards the top wave that is already set up for themselves. But this was a Baron from Rogue Warriors defused completely now by WE. So even if they don't take anything else from here on out, the fact that they just mitigated the entire of the Baron is the biggest thing.
I thought it was going to be about controlling the gold difference to WE. Maybe they get an opportunity to look at the top wave turret. But we see the fight again. SMLZ just gets pretty much pulled in straight away. It's as simple as you'd like when you look at Swain comboed with tanks. The fact that you can pull him forward was very obnoxious, I might add. But Doinby, he's a Kled. Even he knew that it was a mistake, but he was already charging. And when Kled starts the charge, you cannot stop the charge.
Unfortunate. It was probably like a good maybe second and a half into him activating the ultimate as well. So he's got a long time to regret his decision.
I have a question for, let's just say Clement. I assume he's listening, but also mostly for Kled mains, for any of you out there. If I'm charging, right, if I press my ultimate and I use a stopwatch, what happens?
As the Kled, you mean?
Yeah.
I don't think you can. You can't activate anything else. You're locked out.
That's upsetting.
Yeah.
You know, with Shen, like, you can flash out of your ult.
Yeah,
Things like that. Like, it'd be cool if as Kled, you could like...
You could just stop?
Yeah.
Well, I feel like just because of the design of the champion, like he's insane, right? So you would never want to like pull out. You'd always want to just keep going forward.
Shen's a ninja that is blatantly not a ninja.
Who likes to be hit in the face a lot, yeah. I mean, but that's his thematic, you know. Whereas Kled only wants to go forwards.
I just don't know if design is the real philosophy of the champion is the reason that's the case, but no matter.
No, I don't think you could stop it. Once you're committed, you're committed. You're going in.
We're back to even though in this game. You know,
we are indeed, Rusty.
Still a 2,000 gold difference for certain, but WE able to stop that Baron, probably stopped the snowball completely as well. They give themselves an opportunity to fight in the middle, and they've got the composition to fight in the middle. That's not ideal. Let me in.
That's mostly on the wrong side of the wall. Kahlua was there to catch him though, just in case.
I just thought of a really bad knock-knock joke. I'm not going to tell you it on air.
All right.
Sorry, it's just that's all I can think
I'm going to hold you to that though.
Talia walls him off. He's like, knock, knock. I'm trying to come in.
Right.
Ask me after.
Just knowing it's you, I'm sure it's not safe for broadcast. But anyways.
I am Australian.
WE, going back to their normal lane assignments, they've got a bit of Baron left, I think, of Rogue Warriors, if any. So they're still going for their 1-3-1 kind of setup, but it's not going to be near as brutal as it was before when they had that Baron buff, but they are still ahead in terms of gold, and also probably in combat efficiency as well. So if W want to win these fights, they're going to have to find a creative way to start them, and gunning down an Ashe would be one of them.
I mean, to be fair, it's an Ornn that's going to be able to do that. So long-range engage tool, what possibility for them? SMLZ does have Flash this time, however, so things are going to be harder for WE to execute. I think really, like, it may not be that much, you know, a single summoner spell, but actually I think that is the difference maker here. It's an Ashe that has a Tahm Kench to protect. There's not a crazy amount of things to keep that AD carry alive, but the Flash does a lot. Right now, Swain's pulling people in, he's comboing crowd control into killing him. You can't really combo when he dodges the first one. That's the point that I'm making.
Alright, we've got confirmation from the Kled main himself, Clement, in Twitch chat, and he just said that no, you cannot do anything, you're completely locked out from all actions, you cannot perfect timing, so we've got confirmation, we know.
Man, that's upsetting.
Is it?
I respect it.
I think you've signed up for that life as a Kled player. You know what
We're
I
not
mean?
here to berate Kled players. I
No,
respect it.
No, I respect them.
It's a wild ride.
As a champion who thrives when your opponent doesn't know what you do, and as a person who plays Alawi and Urgot,
I'm sorry
I appreciate that. My loss, it's the other person's loss for the first time when they play against that pick, and like, why am I losing? And then they figure it out, and then every other Alawi player has to deal with the fact they've learned. But you know, there's so few of us that we're a rare specimen.
You're a special specimen as well, indeed. You absolute piece of Gouda.
Alright, WE. The setup around the Dragon right here, again it's a Cloud, so it's not going to be both these two teams really want to gunning it towards that area, but if they can get it, then great. It's also more the fact it's a catalyst for a potential fight. Now, Rogue Warriors, we know, they're very strong in these old team fights, and Kled, he's positioning in the jungle, but he's going to have to path around all of these walls to get there. Here comes the Horn. Kled's separated.
Nice
Wow. Yeah, that was defusing the whole situation. Oh my god, that flick from Flawless. Here comes Dory off to the side. He's going to find one. And here comes the chase from Rogue Warriors. Mouse, the happy feet on the side, steps right here. And Missing goes down to the AD carry. Gentle is going to not gently go down. He's going to pause for a hot second before dying. Whoa, he took someone with him. It's going to be SMLZ, but Rogue Warriors don't care. They're going to keep pushing forward.
Missed timing from Flawless on the flick is the only reason SMLZ dies with 3 dead from the side of WE. It should be the inhibitor if SMLZ was alive, maybe even more, including the Baron. But perhaps just inhib and disengage in this case. Mouse once again comes up huge and shows why he's got the Cho'Gath in this game.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be the inhib back away. There's not enough of minion wave to look for more, but you're right. The Baron is up. We've got 12 seconds on 957. More and Gentle and Missing.
SMLZ has teleport as well, so they can afford to do this.
Yeah.
Started very early though.
How are we doing? Yeah, we've got Mouse on the way over, but he's got Warmog, so he's back to full health. Pepper's on his way. There's no blast cone, but he does have flash. Here comes the teleport actually coming from W as well. They know if they don't get this, it's lights out. So they have to contest this one. She over the wall, knocked up, prevents the culling. Here comes 957 on the top side. Looking for the flash here from Pepper. It's down to 4,000 HP. Missing on the bottom side. Gentle also closing in from us at the bottom side as well. Here comes the Ornhorn. RW alone. They're going to have to go for this team fight. Kahlua into the Great Hell. Missing, pushing forwards. And Mouse still body blocking for his support right now. Missing is low himself. And we're trying to disengage. Oh, big Big damage coming out from that volley, but not going to be the kill onto Missing. Blocked there from Gentle. I saw that SMLZ looking for the snipe on the back end.
That was super cute from SMLZ. Doinby has teleported to the base. I think he's just caused some absolute chaos. He may want to get out of there, but note that he's got the charge. Talia even walled half of them up, and they've hit the Baron. Talk about a power play.
That tower, Rusty. I know it split the attention from WE. It's forcing them to make a decision on the spot. Pepper still has the flash. Down to 3K. Where is it? Jumps over the wall. Secured out from Mouse. And now it's a one-way trip for the Olaf. He is dead.
Worst case scenario for WE. Rogue Warriors, you make them feel a chaotic situation, they always come out on top. It's just the way that they play. They were born into the chaos. They get the team fight, they get the Baron, then they teleport into the base, they get another tower, and the Baron's secured after all. So, Doinby.
Oh, hang on. What's going on here? Well, I'm going to go down once. Now I'm going to come back up, and there's 3 people around me, so I'm actually probably going to permanently die. Flashes over the wall, waiting for the rest of the team. Pocket pistol. Oh, he's got his goal back. Here comes Flawless on the backside. Low health, Lucian and Doinby. They keep on turning this one around. Are you crazy? Okay, he's going to start moving into this wave right now, and Doinby in the 1 versus 3 escapes.
He just gets the Kled bound back. Guardian Angel, man.
Oh my god.
Guardian Angel does a lot of work for a Kled, one of the strongest items on the champion, for getting your mount back. We watched the fight here. Mouse with the knock-up onto 4 people. Unlucky the silence only hit 2, but you know that Flawless flicked the 2 that were silenced, so instant death to be seen from them. Now Doinby was charging into the fight. He accidentally was intercepted by an Olaf who ran away. And Gentle here, the Zonius, the flick misses. SMLZ would have lived, perhaps, if he flicked him just off the stasis timing. But still, Rogue Warriors get that win.
I like what Pepper was looking for there, blocking the Kled and obviously just absorbing him. That is what you need to do, keep him away from the rest of your team. The irony was that I think Flawless had actually blocked his ally, because it repathed the Kled, so he actually would have completely dodged the team fight. But there's no way to predict that, obviously, so unfortunate in the end, and WE now permanently on the back foot. And they're just having to be languishing in their base. That's just their life. That's all they have to do.
Top lane hasn't been set up here, though, from Rogue Warriors. You know, Mouse having the teleport available. He hasn't actually gone up to top wave to start to push it forwards by any means. Doinby, someone who's now going, or at least was looking towards going, but he doesn't have teleport, so he may not want to. I think it'll just be the red buff and then back towards the team. He needs to charge in and threaten from the flanks. So they're just going to make it a 1-lane power play here. Yeah. Rogue Warriors.
I mean, the thing is, your front liner has a Warmogged and it's Cho'Gath at, like, maximum items. Like, this guy's huge. Okay, Ornhorn once again. We know they need to do something, but here comes Kled. Again, blocked by the wall. Gentle is getting destroyed by SMLZ. Doinby finds Olaf off to the side once again, and Gentle is already down. Down comes the Redemption once again. And as we throw out the volley, Rogue Warriors are pushing it towards the tower itself, and WE have to back away. They have to concede, but Rogue Warriors, I don't know if they're going to relent.
They may just keep pushing forwards here. Look at Flawless in his positioning, straight in the face of the opponents.
Uh-oh, hey, where's the team? Hello?
They're not helping him right now. Someone's got to help him.
Okay, they finally come back in to assist the Talia, who is going rogue right there. But here we have double minions coming in, plus supers, 957 pushing forward, but what's the damage here? All eyes on him. Can he put out the damage? Well, Doinby's on his face right now. 957's dead, and Missing is down. Oh, WE getting run over. They're being stampeded on by Rogue Warriors, and they're going to make it the 2-0 sweep.
You cannot stop the bruiser combo of Rogue Warriors when they get going. 7-2-7 was the scoreline of Mouse at the end of that game. Stellar performance on the Cho'Gath, to say the least. You saw some strength from Doinby on that Kled once again. His signature pick, a pick that he likes, so he plays it. No one else wants to pick it just yet, but he may be starting to convert people, and I do not look forward to solo queue after these repeat victories from him. End of the day, very good showing from Rogue Warriors. Some inconsistencies, some weaknesses, but at the same time, some strength from WE.
Still undefeated.
And exactly right.
Yeah, still undefeated. Rogue Warriors just apparently unstoppable. This was them clearly trying something a little bit new here, mixing the Kled and the bottom lane of the Ashe and the Tam Kench, and the question was, will it blend? Well, it did. It absolutely did. They crushed WE and yet more team fights. At certain points, like, they can't keep getting away with it. Like, they can't just keep winning games off of just 6 team fights, but so far they have.
I mean, that's the exciting thing about Rogue Warriors in patch 8.11 and beyond. When the Chaos came out, they thrived in it. They looked very good, and that excellence has been achieved and perhaps even perfected by Rogue Warriors through their drafts, and the individual style that they've got is shining through the brightest above all else. WE not really adapting as well. Some changes there are good, you know, they've got the Swain coming through in the support role. The bottom lane of WE did look very good.
I agree.
A classy performance from them even in a defeat. But it was not enough to get the victory against the entire team of Rogue Warriors.
I want to dig a little bit deeper on that, Rusty, because I know you were talking about Mystic being the superior choice over Gentle. Do you still feel the same after that series? Because obviously the strengths that we saw from both Gentle and Mystic, one primarily sat on the AD carries, the other had the ability to go for majors, so it's definitely different, but do you think that one
That's
more favors over the other?
Comparison, man. I mean, we just watched an AD carry against
That's why
Swain.
I get context, yeah.
I think in terms of performance, the difference was night and day for Missing. So I think that's where a lot of it was.
Yeah.
And ultimately, you know, Missing had an outstanding showing on the Morgana, started early, and Gentle was... He was capitalizing on his team's success. That's what the Swain does so well. It wasn't even his crowd control that he was pulling people back in for. Team fought well, but I'm sure Mystic could have done the same thing on Swain in this game. I think Missing was the one that we should be talking about from WE for certain.
I agree. And WE also talk about them. They are very good at going back to their own style and trying to stall out teams, even against one of the most aggressive teams like Rogue Warriors. They're able to stall and prevent and try and, again, line up the shot. They are the archers, the snipers at the end of the day. But unfortunately in that one, Rogue Warriors, they just come at you too fast. You know, sometimes they have too many punches to come at you, and eventually something is going to break down the guard, something's going to get through, and that was that team fight in the mid lane. You know, so eventually it's going to break down.
WE very desperate to engage through all of that. You know, they were trying really hard to get those engages off, and it just gave too many openings. And all it takes is one opening for Rogue Warriors to break open the game, so they did it very well.
They found it. They crushed that team fight, and they sent it home. Well, that was a 4-game day, so we're pretty much done from the caster desk, but for now, I'm going to send it back to the analyst desk to take a look at the series and close out the day.
Thank you, gentlemen. We definitely will look at that series because it was the exact same thing in game 1 and 2. Yes, WE looked good. Yes, they were able to fight back, but they couldn't close.
That's when it comes down to history does not give a damn about the execution. They only care about the results, all right? You can have close game after close game. You can bring it to a 3-game series.
3 days, Raz. We don't have 3 days, okay? Come on, calm down.
I exposed the plan for 2019. Uh-oh. But honestly,
cricket now.
You can go as far as you can, but you need to be able to pick up the victories. And once again, WE just can't nail down the team fights.
Yeah, they could not. They did look good in the early skirmishes, but you and I were talking about it. Yeah, they picked up a nice 4-kill victory in a team fight. They got a turret, but they're still, what, 500 gold ahead of Rogue Warriors at that point in time? What was it about WE's composition that didn't allow them to actually get further ahead whenever they got these minor victories?
So ultimately, it came down to the fact that 3 champions immediately that I would point out, just being the Lucian, Olaf, and the Swain. 3 champions that you look at and say, well, they have a great window, right? They have a great mid-game window, but it comes down to the fact that if you don't take advantage of it, you will fall short very quickly. I would have loved to see the Lucian with the 3 kills that he had. You talked about the overall team goal not being large enough for WE after a major win in the top side of the map, but you have to utilize the Lucian on side lanes. With that much gold that he had and the sustain that he got from Blade of the Rune King, he needs to be able to match the Kled or match just based off the item advantage alone. But too often they use him to push waves and join the team and never really properly set up for a team fight.
And a couple of times Rogue Warriors really punished WE for that as well, because we often saw Gentle going into a side lane when his teleport was up because they didn't properly manage their TP cooldowns, was run down by Doinby. Even in one instance, he was forced to teleport away from that side lane, leaving WE kind of stretched. They didn't have the resources to actually execute that strategy. So Rogue Warriors did a good job then. And unlike Team WE, when Rogue Warriors got a small lead from the couple of skirmishes we're about to see, they were able to hit it home after that. They knew exactly what they needed to do after capitalizing on a botched team fight from WE.
And it's crazy to see this happen. With the lead that WE had at the time, they had a pretty good pickoff, but then you see them starting to pile in. Kled goes mad in this fight, just finding himself right into the back line too. So you could just see Rogue Warriors as a team, when they see these opportunities, they just go straight for it. Mouse had an excellent game. This was one great team fight from him, having a 2-man knockup, but then immediately afterwards being able to pick up an inhibitor right off of a 4-man knockup.
Yeah,
this guy was going off.
Let's watch that 4-man knockup.
Let's do it.
I believe we have that replay as well. It was beautiful. Mouse playing out of his mind, choking off a champion we don't commonly see in the current meta, not really well known to be the brawl, bruiser heavy champion, a big tank in the top lane. But this fight started so well for WE. SMLZ's dead. This is not the team fight where we see that 4-man knockup, but still, it's a Rogue Warriors team fight nonetheless.
It was actually a WE team fight in the sense that they were able to pick this one up. This is really fun because I know this was a back and forth fight. I feel bad for the people in the back. I really do. Just because there's so much skirmishing that it's a coin flip to find out who ended up taking the win in a lot of these skirmishes. You're right. In that specific one, that was a great opportunity for WE to come back into the game. The one we were referring to, and this is going to be the one that ends up taking the inhibitor at the end of the day. Massive 4-man knockup from Cho'Gath. Mouse had an exceptional game, and you're right. It's always difficult to find those games for a Cho'Gath. He's either useless or incredibly dominating, and this was a dominating performance.
It was dominating coming out from Mouse. Played really well, but the entirety of Rogue Warriors showing once again they're able to adapt to the meta. You know, we can run 80 carries in the bottom lane too. We can still play Ashe when we need to, but throw in a couple of unorthodox picks. We've seen the Kled so much come out of Doinby. Now we've seen the Cho'Gath as well. But I really have to hit home that point about WE, because we saw in the second replay there that WE had the potential to make the picks. Cashing out SMLZ, that's the main carry for Rogue Warriors, but they need to be able to capitalize on these picks.
They're trying to refine their identity. And the reason why this set matters to me a lot, I know we had the podcast going through and we talked about this match, and the reason why it seemed important to me, although everyone thought Rogue Warriors is going to come out ahead, is because W used to be the team fight team.
Yep.
But they handing the torch now to Rogue Warriors, as Rogue Warriors are the team fighting team of the LPL with SMLZ and Doinby manning the lineup. And remember what this means, because Rift Rivals is coming up. Rogue Warriors moving to Rift Rivals. WE, a team that was in Rift Rivals, manning the helm in an incredible fashion. Their rivalry with SKT was so damn crucial back then. Now they're not going to Rift Rivals. It's actually now handing the torch to Rogue Warriors that are the team fighting team. It's really sad to see this in a WE perspective, but it's great to see Rogue Warriors climb up.
Yeah, they're ready for Rift Rivals. I believe they got one more match before they actually go into Rift Rivals itself, but they're still undefeated. They haven't dropped a single game here in the LPL so far. They're starting summer as strong as they started spring last split. It's fantastic to see. I just hope we continue to see the exact same performance from them before we move into cross-conference. Flawless also picked up MVP for that match. And this speaks wonders about Rogue Warriors, because Flawless, he didn't have a great start at the LCK, moving over to the LPL a bit shaky. Found his home with Rogue Warriors. The band of misfits really gelled together, and it really shows. Mouse had a fantastic Cho'Gath game. SMLZ and Killua do so well in the bottom lane. Doinby's a star in the mid lane. Even Flawless can show up. This team is incredible.
Yeah, feels like you can just roll a dice. One of those weird, you know, Dungeons and Dragon dice too.
No. Just roll a d6, and when you hit 6, that's stake. You just give him the stake.
Then you just get the stake. That's all you get. This is America. Anyways, but legitimately, it felt like this team. It felt like this team. It was a game where Mouse could have easily gotten the MVP. But it's nice to have the highlight onto Flawless as well, because I already made a mention before we got into the day. It feels like it's his meta. The AP mid laners, he's been known for his Nidalee picks, and I really hope to God we get to see more Nidalee coming out of him in the future, because Swift is having a lot of fun with that. And now he gets to utilize the Talia now that it's back in his court. So I really want to see what he could do in the early game, because Flawless, early game, synonymous.
Well, he's gone from buffless in the LCK to now flawless in the LPL. We get to actually watch him at Rift Rivals. Rogue Warriors will be one of the teams going from the LPL to represent the region up against the LCK, where Flawless could potentially get his revenge, and the LMS. You can catch all the action next week. I believe it's 6 days from now, July 5th and 6th in the Dalian Sports Center. If you want to grab tickets, on your screen right there, wesia.com is where you can grab those tickets. Raz said he's going to buy a ticket to whoever needs one, so tweet at him for a free ticket. Is that right, Raz?
Exactly. I'll do it, except when you start to inquire a little bit more, then I'll blacklist you.
I don't understand why. But we also have our match of the week coming up tomorrow. That's going to be Invictus Gaming taking on RNG. It's going to be an incredible matchup. IG are still undefeated, just like Rogue Warriors. RNG, yes, dropping a game to JD, but they still look fantastic. The MSI champions, currently the best team in the world, Raz. This is going to be so exciting.
It's so fun to watch these teams go up against each other. Remember, the first set, a spring split, was RNG taking down Invictus Gaming, then Invictus Gaming having a phenomenal record-breaking split. And then they go up against RNG again in the semifinals, and then RNG had their breakout.
So eat your vegetables, do your homework, get off of work, come and watch this goddamn game because it's fantastic. It's going to be amazing. That's happening tomorrow, 7 o'clock China Standard Time is where that game will be taking place. But now we can also take a look at how the LPL currently stands, because after another 2-0 victory for Rogue Warriors, they still top their conference 5-0 with Invictus Gaming. Both these teams are trying to finish the round robin group stage undefeated.
Perfect play, both these teams. I'd love to see, of course, the top 4 teams coming out here: EDG, Rogue Warriors, Invictus Gaming, RNG, heading out to Dalian, because they're still continuing that drive since last split.
Rogue Warriors taking on EDG is also going to be played this week. That's the final team standing in Rogue Warriors' way. And EDG going to have to try and bounce back after a snake loss earlier in the week. Now actually finding a victory here today. They're going to go up against Rogue Warriors. Rogue Warriors just have one last team, Raz. Just one team.
Yeah, and that's the top team in their group. Well, technically Rogue Warriors in the top team of that group. But if it feels like they just clean house,
oh, they will,
in the Western Conference, then it'll be even more fun after you get out of the Rift Rivals to see who they go up against in the cross-conference
Let's see what they can do. And we've already given the viewers quite enough of reasons to watch tomorrow's matches, but we've got even more, because there are going to be more matches played tomorrow other than the match of the week, because that's going to be Invictus Gaming going up against RNG. We can take a look at the rest of the schedule, because we start nice and early, Raz. Starting all the way at 2 o'clock China Standard Time. BLG take on LGD, JD then take on Vici, and then we have the match of the week. IG against RNG.
You got a few warm-up matches, and Xiaohu is ready to backhand a few people. And of course, you have Jackie Love. And I feel like I've seen a few Bond moments here, but we just gotta nail it down.
Nail what down, Raz?
The pose.
Oh, the pose. Okay, yeah. Don't worry, we've got that. We're ready for that, Raz. There's absolutely no question that we are ready, but I think the viewers need to be a bit ready for match of the week as well, because it's going to be hype. But fortunately, that is the end of our broadcast tonight. All I have left to do is to thank my fellow combatants of Raz, Rusty, as well as Pulse, our entire production crew for being behind us, and you, the viewer back at home, for watching. But I leave you with this. In the words of wise Barry Rento Muhammad, he once said, if someone tells you to not put all your eggs in one basket, ask them, why the hell would you put all the eggs in a basket anyway?
What is the purpose of it?
Good night, ladies and gentlemen.